Hello everyone and welcome to episode 67 of the Xbox Hall Gamers podcast. This week I am joined by the wonderful Charlotte.
Hello.
And our special guest star, never before seen, Cameron.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man.
Yeah,
Well, he is. To be fair, he is. He is a very busy man.
This week we're going to talk about a bunch of fucking cancellations because that's some sad news. We're going to talk a little bit about Redfall. I'm a little bit excited about that. And then there's some stuff around like some Xbox 360 delistings and some rumors going around and some miscommunications. And then Rumbleverse as well.
Plus, after Song of the Week, we've got gameplay footage of both Dead Space Remake and SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake.
Wonderful. Cameron has been hard at work playing video games. All right. And as
At least
always,
one of us is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. As always, you can watch this show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us on Twitch. Come say hi, hang out with our lovely chat. We've got David in here. We've got Bulbasaur. We've got Dead by Daylight. Miss Cannon making an appearance. Neomaster's in there. That's nice of him to make an appearance.
There's even a dinosaur somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Quick, somebody make me the Obama handing Obama a medal meme.
Yeah, Obama. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Patreon of the month.
We can actually make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. That way, actually, that's a pretty good idea. I like that idea. We do need some thumbnail art. But anyway, Cameron is going to transition us to Song of the Week. Take it away.
How long must I survive? Hunted on all sides, I run with all I have. One wrong move and it's all over. I heard the screams coming from the forest. We've split up and now I'm in the trap. Once you're bit, you can never go back. I gotta make it out of here alive.
I'm so annoyed right now.
Yes.
I know it, but I don't know it.
Oh, it's
Like,
such an easy one, Cameron.
Early 2000s?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
Is it late 90s or early 2000s?
That's the era. I mean, the band.
Yeah,
it's a 90s band, but they did do songs up into the 2000s.
Let's work out what date it was released. Okay. Not 2000s.
Yeah, it
Is
was
it
90s, right?
99.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's going to be like right on it.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
Such an easy one.
Dale
Okay, can we give him a clue?
Dale did a whole stream the other day of like classic music. Got me on the whole listening to... I actually started listening to the presets again.
Oh.
Been like fucking ages.
Cameron, I feel like we might need to give you a spicy clue.
Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, okay, all right, yes, okay,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it is a Chili Peppers song, yeah.
Yes.
What's the song name? Like, I know the song.
It's Other Side.
Other songs.
Okay, I merely knew it. I just couldn't think of like who sang it or
Yeah.
song name.
I knew the song. I just couldn't think about any of the words or who sang it
immediately though, and know that
Yeah,
it
of
was
course,
early 2000.
I mean, that's Chili Peppers for
The
you.
mildly depressing thing is this came out the same year that my boyfriend was born.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, I think we need to move swiftly on from that before fucking someone shows up at your house or you get put on the list.
Hey, he's in his 20s.
Yeah, he is. I'm not going to finish that sentence. All right.
You dick. Okay, moving on.
All right. Well, good job, community. They seem to know it, which is fantastic. Yeah, Bulbasaur didn't know it. He's too young, which is I mean, hey, something. I mean, like even in the good place, you still went to the bad place if you listen to the Chili Peppers. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how good are they really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess our next bit is to look at some community questions. I think we had just the one question mainly from Isaac here.
There's two questions. There was one from Firework and one from
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was from Isaac. Said, "Hey guys, what's the first game you played on Xbox with achievements? Did you complete it, and would you play it again if they suddenly released a stack?" Thank you for taking my question. Thank you for asking the question, Isaac. As always, we greatly appreciate your support.
We do indeed.
Charlotte.
See, this one's a real easy one for me because I literally have only had my Xbox for what, just almost 2 years. This April will be 2 years, and the very first game I started on my Series X was Undertale.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, and I have completed it a year later, but
you weren't too far off it though. You got a lot of it
No.
done.
I only had the dog roulette,
like
the
the
dog
roulette,
casino thing, roulette thing,
the
yeah,
slots thing, yeah.
the slots.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did. I started Undertale and completed it. So yeah.
Would you play it again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I love Undertale.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. I'm so glad that was the one that I started with. Like I am so happy I picked that specific one because I was like, well, what? I need to pick something good to actually start the Series X.
Yeah.
Like, especially when I'd like been following the podcast and I was still not sure which one I was going to play, and then that has to be it. So, yeah.
I still need to do Undertale. It just hasn't caught me.
Do it. It's so good.
I'm sorry. I think
You
it's
don't
overrated.
you don't even have to finish it.
I think it's overrated. I'm sorry.
I mean, like to be fair, at this point, yeah, of course it's overrated. People that game all to hell. But
It's
I think
still
There's
a
better
cult
reviews.
classic.
Halo 3 on on my old profile. So the first the first time I got an Xbox was Xbox 360. And I bought that when I was 15 from working KFC. I remember I bought a bundle with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Halo 3, and I think 2 other games. And back then I would have like lived on the farm, so I didn't do any multiplayer for Halo 3, but I would just play through the story on normal. But yeah, I didn't finish Halo 3 until, I don't know, like way later. I probably would have finished Halo 3 on MCC before I finished it.
I was gonna say, yeah, like you basically did have this happen to you where they basically released a stack of the game and you redid it.
Yeah. Well, I've done the entire collection of it, so it's like, I mean, it's whatever. And I'm sure if they released a Halo 3 remaster, I'll do it again.
Yeah, Halo 3 Remaster is one of the ones where I would be like, yeah, I would jump on that straight away.
I honestly think Halo 3 is still the best one out of them all.
Yeah, I really like Reach as well, and I really like ODST, but I think 3 I would agree is probably the best one.
Yeah. David, my first achievements was in Hex 6 HD, but the first game I completed was King Kong. I really need to do King Kong.
King Kong's actually was surprising. Like it was of that era where they made movie license games that weren't complete shit, but it was also like a decent first-person shooter. It was pretty basic, but you got all the achievements just for running through the story.
But yeah, and then the other one that I guess on my newer profile was Forza Motorsport 5, which I can't complete because of how Turn 10 is with their achievements, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Forza Motorsport 2 is that same one.
I really wish Microsoft did something about the first parties.
Yeah, well, really, I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I've talked about this many times, but yeah, first game I ever started with achievements was Gears of War. I mean, I did finish it because it was literally the only game I spent my entirety of my first paycheck on a used 360, a brand new copy of Gears of War, a controller and a battery pack, and that was pretty much it. So it was the only game I could play.
So what you're telling me is right now you're committing to when that Gears of War collection comes out, you're going to get that completion. I
already did the Ultimate Edition. I've already done it. I've done the stack.
And you'll do it again and again.
Well, we'll have a look at the achievements, but man, Sigma Bless mentions 99 Nights. God, I remember doing that. Just having to 99 Nights was a fun one because there was a trick where if you just kept dying over and over enough, the game had adaptable difficulty. It would just make the game easier for you. Because it was way too fucking. It was like a Dynasty Warriors clone, but it was way too hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff on the early, that early 360.
Bob also says he's done Forza Horizon 3.
Forza Horizon 3 is a good one.
Yeah, Horizon 3 would be good to redo again. I still think 4 is probably the best Forza Horizon.
Mm.
But 3 is pretty like close. Just don't give me 2. Anything
No,
but 2.
yeah.
2's too much.
Yeah, the Fast and the Furious little tie-in thing they did was enough of 2 for me.
Yeah, like tangent a little, but like going off in racing games, I'd really love for what was the Top Gear? Grand Tour.
Yeah.
That to be relisted. I think people like really missed out on that, like having a weekly video game tie-in that played the episodes of the show was pretty cool.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, now the Grand Tour is basically ending.
Yeah. But I mean, we're going to talk more about Amazon later on as well, so
Yeah, true. And then we have our other question here from Firehawk. Says, what obscure game did you enjoy that you'd love to have updated with achievements for modern day consoles? And would you want a remaster or a remake? Oh boy. I feel like I'm kind of spoiled for choice on this one. I have to give some thought. Charlotte, you played a lot of again, like you got into Xbox relatively recently, but you used to play stuff, back in the day as well, right?
Mm.
Like Commander Keen?
A little bit. I played Station and stuff like that. My internet might kick itself because I'm like it's struggling right now, and I don't quite understand why.
No, it's all good.
Literally nothing else is running on this computer right now. Yeah, well, I played things on PC, but it was like Commander Keen and things like that.
Mm.
all right.
I mean, like you'd play a remake of that though, right?
It'll never happen, but I'm holding up a copy of Parappa the Rapper. I've also got
Oh, I would love
Yeah.
that.
Parappa
It would
the
never
Rapper 2.
happen.
And the classic PS1 title.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you guys can make that out.
Well, I can't see it, Cameron. You describe it.
South Park's Chef's Love Shack.
Oh my god.
You know what? You got the
Oh,
one
God.
thing about
Okay.
South Park games now is like after Stick of Truth, they've been really good and really solid.
Yeah, Stick of Truth was good, and
Mm.
Fractured Butthole was decent.
Yeah, I wish that DLC had actual achievements. I heard the Casabanita one was actually really good.
The vampire one.
Did you hear about them buying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They bought Castlevania. Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Just stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I have so many weird games from like the early PlayStation, like PlayStation 2 stuff that I'd love to play again. I know that like on the PlayStation, like they redid Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2. They call it Dark Chronicle over here with like trophy support and that kind of stuff. So it would be really cool to play that again over here. Tomba would be good, or Tombi.
Tomba would be yeah.
Bob, they did 2 of them actually. I think I used to own the second one. Really, really fun, like platformers. Doing those with the achievements would be great. Like that, I would have such a great. I would buy those in a heartbeat.
You know what
I feel like, yeah.
You know what I want to add onto the list? That's a licensing nightmare. The other 007 games.
Yeah, like Nightfire and things like that, right?
Like,
yeah.
Nightfire is still probably one of my favorite games of that generation. And then I keep on like, okay, one of my goals this year now is I kind of want to watch all the 007 films.
Oh my god!
I know it's going to take forever. It's probably going to take longer than a year, but I'm replaying GoldenEye and getting that completion. I'm just like, I kind of just want to do it in my spare time while I'm grinding away on stuff.
I mean, there are like a lot of good ones, and there are also a lot of bad ones.
Yeah. But Nightfire is the one that like needs a movie, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I remember when Bloodstone came out, right? And that was supposed to be they were going to make a movie, but make it a game for an original thing. And it was okay, but it didn't do very well. Because they were sort of they still had Daniel Craig as Bond, but he wasn't doing a movie because there was some other stuff going on.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of games that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
and then all the other ones have been too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because it was like, well, they did like 007 Legends, right? And that was decent.
Yeah.
and then they redid GoldenEye. I can't think of any others because Nightfire is the one that always springs to mind. There were a couple of others in there as well.
This one's like very obscure, but the PS2 version of GoldenEye Rogue Agent, the one that's not GoldenEye,
not GoldenEye at all, but they just kind of
like it plays on the guy has a golden eye,
golden
and
eye,
not the golden eye. But yes, it's so confusing in the grand scheme of things looking from the outside. But that is a really fucking solid game. It's like, all right, cool. You play as someone that's essentially James Bond, but evil.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wasn't that? Oh, it might have been an OG Xbox. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was because I remember being on like the DS or something. It was that time when they were bringing out like shitty DS ports for all these games.
What was it like? The Simpsons game had how many different fucking ports?
Yeah, it was like the GBA and then DS era.
I miss some of the third-party stuff from the PS2 era, like Futurama. Like some of those tie-ins were really good.
Yeah, like Simpsons Hit and Run and all that kind of stuff, like those classics that everyone talks about. Like I'd love for them to remake a lot of the level 5 stuff. Like Dark Cloud, Dark Chronicle, and what was it, Rogue Legacy? I think it was called. Not like the. I think it was Rogue. I'm gonna have to look this up, but basically it's like pirate ships in space. It was pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like there's so much from the PlayStation 2 era of just like weird shit. Like I think what is it? Isaac posted. Robot Alchemic Drive, rad. It's just like a weird Japanese like PlayStation 2 game that basically no one's ever heard of. And like you just don't see those kinds of games anymore. But I love that kind of stuff. Just like that's the kind of thing you would see on Game Pass and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna play the shit out of that. It looks weird as shit. I love it.
Now later put a Brute Force down.
Yes, Brute Force is a great. It was like the Brute Force, the Bouncer, like that level of game. Was it who did Oni? That was Bungie, right? That was before they did Halo, I think.
I can't remember. So in terms of games that I played back then, most things were like pretty mainstream. Like I was Nintendo for quite a while because I went through like Game Boy N64, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, and then I finally got a PS2, and all I can remember playing were Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Burnout 3 Takedown.
Ooh, remake of Burnout would be good.
But yeah, Burnout's one of those franchises that really just needs to come back as an arcade. Like I honestly think the only thing that could like even remotely go close to Forza Horizon, and it's like I wouldn't treat it as a traditional arcade racer. It would be a very bare bones kind of thing. Would be Burnout.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what they were trying to do with Need for Speed, right? Is that they kind of position it as like that kind of Burnout. They're trying to combine the two genres.
I just don't think we need like open world arcade racing though.
No, I agree. Like as much as I enjoyed Burnout Paradise, that was a long time ago. Anyway, how you doing over there, Charlotte? Are you still having fun technical issues?
You're all robots.
Beep, boop,
I can hear occasional moments, and then it's just robots.
all right.
Well, you know what
So
they
like
say about robots.
every sort of 10 seconds,
Beep, beep.
and then you're frozen, Matt,
okay.
completely, and then I can't even see the video on live
am I
at
a
all.
robot
Like
now?
the best that it's doing is currently showing me chat. I can see chat. You're fine at the moment.
Right.
We'll have to play
I don't know what's happened because I have nothing else is running. It's literally only Zoom. There was no one else in this house currently.
A sheep got to the
So there
internet
should not be
wire.
a problem. So I'm kind of just like, yay. Technical difficulties all round.
All right, do we want to crack into the news then, or what do we want to do?
Well, I don't know. I just want to go home now.
Next week, hopefully everything works fine.
Yep, just go ahead. If I hear you, I'll respond.
All right.
Jump in at any time.
Next week I'll be home.
Yeah. And next week I won't be here. Anyway, let's jump in the news.
All right, what have you got for us, Cameron? You grabbed a few stories.
All right, let's start off with this. Actually, I'm going to start with the one that upsets me the most.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, VGC put out a thing that EA had reportedly cancelled mobile ports of both Battlefield and Apex Legends. I think it was Apex Legends.
Yes, it was.
Cool. Which seems very weird. Like, I can understand Battlefield, but like Apex as well.
Yeah, I understand it because if you look at like the numbers in terms of like what does well on mobile, it's PUBG, it's Fortnite, and it's Call of Duty Mobile, right? And so they were like, well, Battlefield and Apex are our equivalents to those games, so let's just fucking get on there.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they cancelled them, but yeah, I mean it is what it is. But the one thing that I heard based off this, EA had reportedly cancelled a single player game codenamed Titanfall Legends.
Yeah.
So I saw this and immediately my heart broke because if
Titanfall Legends.
If there's any game I want, it's Titanfall 3. There is no other game that you could like the Futurama meme of Fry handing over money. That is 100% going to be Titanfall 3. And yeah, BGC put out this thing saying to be cancelled. The project was reportedly being led by creative director Mohammed Alvi until he left the company in January 2022. Respawn announced in July 2021 that it was developing a new single-player adventure game set in a unique universe, which Alvi was attached to. He was the senior designer on the Titanfall series and narrative designer and director on Apex Legends during an 11-year spell at Respawn. Prior to that, he spent 7 years at Infinity Ward, where he designed iconic Call of Duty missions, including No Russian and All Gillied Up.
Wow. Okay.
So he's got some. He's got some
real
prestige.
pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, saying that, VGC followed up with another article today that the Titanfall game that was apparently cancelled was reportedly a campaign in Apex Legends.
Yeah, because they're technically set in the same universe, right?
Which kind of softened the blow. But I'm surprised that I haven't heard as many people going like, no, you guys just need to make Titanfall 3 already.
I mean,
every person I talk to about Titanfall 2, they go, yep, one of the best single-player campaigns I've played of all time.
Yeah.
EA's been like really on a ball lately. Like fucking, you go from being one of the worst companies in the world to, all right, they're remaking Skate. They remade Dead Space and it's fucking hit. Jedi, Fallen Order, and Survivor, I'm sure it's going to be the same. They've like really turned themselves around. Like, you know, what was it, like 12 months ago, maybe 2 years ago, when they put out that statement saying, yeah, EA's like cares about single games.
Yeah.
They actually fucking put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, which is nice. It's I'm glad that they're kind of moved. They've kind of moved in that direction because they've had a lot of bad years. And like I don't feel bad for them because a lot of that was self-inflicted because EA just loves fucking putting their own foot in their mouth. Yeah, I just
like in recent history, like what Anthem would have been, geez, probably like 4 or 5 years ago now at this point.
Yeah, about 3 years ago. So yeah,
even Freefield. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have Anthem. Was like it had Anthem. They had like some really bad Need for Speeds that didn't go well for them.
Even that. Look, everybody loves their new one, but I just
yeah. And then obviously you have Battlefield as well, which obviously absolutely tanked. And even then Battlefield 5 before it didn't do that well either. Yeah. And then they were just miss after miss after miss. And it's like it felt like Respawn were the only ones doing anything successful. Like Titanfall 2 was, critically acclaimed, didn't sell super well because they released it poorly. But Jedi, like Fallen Order did great, and Apex is huge for them. So
I didn't even think of Hazelight.
Oh yeah,
Take-Two, and Way Out and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, true.
And it would be very interesting to see how Wild Hearts does this month as well, especially seeing how fucking stacked this month is.
Gonna be a busy month.
There was a rumor going around that the game was coming to Game Pass, but then at the same time, all those games come to Game Pass.
Yes, yeah,
Because
eventually.
it's going to be EA Plus anyway.
Mm.
I just found it a little bit funny, but yeah. But yeah, so yeah, a little bit sad about that one. Moving along from that, where to go from now? Coalition.
Yeah.
So yeah, Coalition has reportedly cancelled 2 other titles, and is working all on Gears 6 now, which is kind of sad to hear.
Yeah, because we were really excited. They're like, oh, hey, finally they're going to do something else other than Gears.
Well, the
But
most prestigious studio that Microsoft has for Unreal Engine.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb claimed that Xbox Canadian studio is now full steam ahead on Gears 6. Other than that, there's not really much else to say. Other than, like, I think the major blow for me personally is you have a shadow drop of, like, Hi-Fi Rush that was worked on in secret for 4 years. I kind of feel like if this was another in secret game, this is the thing. It could have been projects that were used as training tools for development for people for Unreal, or it could have been. I doubt it would be the Gears collection.
No, probably not. No.
I
mean, like the Gears collection is such an obvious one to chuck in.
Yeah.
Like it's like like it would be like I don't feel like that would like, and also I don't really feel like Coalition would be the one running that. Like I feel like that's the kind of thing that they could easily give to another studio.
Or they could get a smaller team to work on.
Or something. You're right. Yeah, like like that's exactly right. Like I don't feel like that's the kind of thing that would stop Gear 6 from happening.
Yeah.
All right, I might have fixed my issue.
Something was downloading in the background, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
I still don't know what's actually going on. But I've turned off my firewall, so don't hack me, please, right now.
I just love that you're not flickering anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'm not flickering at least, but now I can actually. Matt's not frozen, and I can hear you both like normal as of me changing that one setting. So
hey, we'll take it.
Full steam ahead.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was actually quite excited to see what the Coalition was going to do, because like they do make decent games, you know. Like as much as I don't play Gears anymore because just of the time requirement. You know, there are definitely some talented people working there. And it would be nice to see them do something other than the same Gears game over and over again.
I'd be interested to see if they actually put a seriously level kind of achievement in a new IP. Or whether that's just tied to the, like, is that tied to the pedigree of the studio, or is that a case of, you know, kind of thing? But I think it brings up an interesting conversation of whether, you know, like, is Microsoft, I guess this is like all the major things, like Nintendo is the obvious case, I feel like Nintendo will always be your classic suspects of Zelda, Mario, those level of games, right?
Because they know what works, so they stick with it.
And
but the other thing as well is with Nintendo and with Switches, right? Switch, you have so many other available games. Like they don't restrict their marketplace. Not as much as say like Xbox or PlayStation do. At least I don't think so. Like I can go onto the Switch, onto my Switch, and there's like a bunch of different games, and I'm like, what the hell is this game? And it's like $2, and it's the shittiest.
There's a lot of shovelware.
Doesn't even like. It's not even good. Like
going something like
like there's so much more. I feel like.
Like Steam.
No,
Steam
there's some weird stuff on the Switch.
Have some adult.
No, basically they're on par with each other, right? Like, like they have similarities, but they know what their main core games are gonna do. Like, this is why I can almost guarantee you there'll be another Animal Crossing, because it works, right? They know what works.
It's just those IPs. You know, there'll always be new iterations of those IPs. Like even Pikmin 4's coming back, And
More Pokemons. You just,
Yeah.
you know,
like Switch's life span is a completely different story. But like
yeah.
PlayStation, you know, PlayStation's main IPs have changed over time. I feel like Xbox is still in that weird stage of people keep on still talking about Halo, and I'm kind of like, I mean, yes, Halo is the flagship, but at the same time, like, I don't care anywhere near is what I used to about Halo.
Yeah.
I want Hi-Fi Rush is a perfect example of this. Yeah, give me these smaller kind of projects that they take risks on, like Pentiment. Like,
yeah.
and
Pentiment's a good example.
I don't want them to get leaked too. I want people. I want studios to go out there and basically convince me like this is a weird, wild concept that we haven't ever thought about before. We want to try and see if it works, and then use Game Pass to back that.
I mean, yeah, like that's the perfect vehicle for both their internal and external studios, right?
Yeah.
It's how
And
you
if
get
you're not
something
doing
like
that, give me a Banjo-Kazooie remake.
Yes, well, yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Rare aren't doing anything apparently.
Actually, that's another thing too. Like games like Everwild too. Like once they get their direction sorted out, like I want those kind of new experiences. That's why I am a gamer. I don't want to just play like Halo 6, 7, 8 for the end of my life. Like I want different experiences. And that's why I tend to usually go for indie gaming as well.
Sure.
But yeah. It would have been interesting to see what they could do, especially what was that one that they did? The Matrix demo.
Oh yeah, right. With Unreal, yeah.
Yeah. Because if they are the crafts of Unreal with stuff like that, then yeah. But yeah, hopefully we don't see any more cancellations. Kind of feel like it's just the industry's been hit hard lately, and it's
yeah
going to affect us in a few years.
Yeah, I suspect it will, but
moving along.
That's okay.
Do we want to talk Redfall?
Yeah, we'll just quickly touch on it.
Please.
Sorry,
so
Zombie Far Cry.
Yeah, basically it's gonna be Zombie Far Cry, which like I'm kind of for that, you know. Like I don't mind Far Cry. But there's been a bit of talk about how apparently it's going to need a constant online connection, even if you're playing single player. Which, you know, 10 years ago I might be more upset about this, but at this stage, like, when the fuck is my console not connected anymore?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can't run my Xbox unless I've got an internet connection.
Yeah.
It's useless without an internet connection. Like when I was in Top War for Christmas and New Year's, I couldn't play any games.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do anything offline. So I was like, well, that doesn't really bother me in the slightest now. Like until I have a moment like tonight where like my internet decides to just throw its toys out the window. But for the most part, like most people are going to have an internet connection. I don't think it's really that big of an issue now, where it used to be a bigger problem, right? Whereas you'd want to play a game, but you put your CD in and you play the game. You wouldn't need this digital environment that we basically live digital now, right?
Especially if you're going to play this on Game Pass, you're going to have an internet connection anyway. So
exactly. Or if you wanted to do cloud or any of those available options, right? You have to have internet.
Yeah. Although people are talking about how like you won't be able to pause and stuff, which is kind of annoying. Like I get it. It's not like it feels a bit not ideal for a game that you should be able to play completely single player at your own pace. But it's not the kind of thing I want to get up in arms about, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but I'm just interested. I'm wondering how the solo player the player that only gets things for single player experiences. Feels about this kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's neither here nor there to me. It's like it's 2023.
I mean, yeah, and like people still like that kind of being able to play games, but for us, like, how does that compare with us, where we would prefer to like say achievement hunt and complete the game that way?
Okay, something from Natalator pops in my head about like the online thing not being able to pause. That's the other annoying thing too. Like if you got a newborn,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff robs you
Yeah.
of experience.
Yeah,
And that does make a big issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel like Redfall is going to be the kind of game that you probably don't want to play single player anyway, though. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I know that we've kind of, I know we've kind of gone from like thinking it was going to be Left 4 Dead to thinking it's more going to be like Far Cry, or like Borderlands, kind of like that kind of level.
Well, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but it like looks very Destiny Strike to me.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week. Yeah.
Right. Like yeah, it just gives me that feel like that this is Destiny Strike kind of mixed with Far Cry, you know, with Arcane's weird gunplay.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like I'm all for it. I'm still gonna play it day one and hopefully get a few people together, but like yeah, it's very much neither here nor there. The thing that I'm more so concerned about for Redfall is whether online progress is tied to your actual profile or the host.
I'm assuming it's going to be actual profile because I get the feeling
they said something earlier that sounded messy.
Yeah. Actually, I see what you're saying.
That's the only concern I have because, yeah, I don't want to like, you know, there's one like Nobody Saves the World, for example. Like I love it to death, but it's one of those things that's tied to the host.
Yeah.
So like Firehawk would have to rely on me, otherwise he was shit out of luck.
Yeah.
And that's the only downside. You don't want these games like that. You want, like, come on, if you're a first party studio and Halo's got it worked out for how progression works, just take that model.
Like, yeah, I know you. I want to see more about the game because it is coming out mid-year. I think it was
May.
May, yes.
I think.
That's not that far away, right? So
it's a week before Legend of Zelda. Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, I guess we'll see how this how it stacks up. I am more curious about it now than I was when I first heard about it. So we'll see.
I'm honestly that's the start of May, right? Did I say start of May?
Yeah, May.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, like that and Minecraft Legends, I'm like really interested at. Forza Motorsport, I'll probably dive in just to give it a try, but like I'm neither here nor there. And Hi-Fi Rush, I've got to get back into.
Yep.
And then just tell us when Starfield is too. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, they'll do that for probably E3, right?
Yeah. Well, there was actually a rumor. I don't know where it started, but I saw it and I was like, all right, that would be very interesting. When's the Super Bowl?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, I would not have a clue.
Okay. I have.
Good luck with that.
September,
Find an American.
What is that? Okay.
I only know about Superb Owls.
Okay. Somebody posted this on Twitter. I don't know where it originated, but it got me thinking. Yeah. What if they shadow drop Starfield at the Super Bowl?
Well, the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks, so probably not this year.
Yeah.
But it kind of made me think, like, what if Microsoft actually went to the effort of shadow dropping a game, like a Game Pass game, at the Super Bowl?
The kinds of people who watch the Super Bowl aren't going to be the kinds of people who are going to play Starfield for the most part.
Yeah.
Madden Elite or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be yeah. It's like, well, we're going to advertise FIFA.
Actually, EA, there's your entire marketing campaign right there. Just shadow drop.
EA can't afford
games. Yeah. No, I don't think they would be able to. It'd be funny though. It would be interesting if we lived in a world where that was possible. Like, you know, like it's interesting too, seeing the conversations pop up on how shadow dropping is bad from some of the anti Xbox kind of media.
Whatever.
It's funny, at the very least.
Yeah, it is. But
shadow dropping was a bad idea back when retail was a thing. You know, when was it the Sega Saturn came out? Was it Saturn? I think. Yeah, well, they were just like, it's out today.
Look, if nobody knows about your console, it's not going to do.
Yeah, it's not a great way to start. Yeah.
No.
But if you have the subscription service like already like going,
yeah, then just it's a nice surprise. I mean, we always wait to see what's being added and what's leaving. So everything's a surprise. It's good. Tell me about Tomb Raider.
Yes, we'd love to hear about Tomb Raider.
So Tomb Raider is a funny one.
Mhm.
Because if we look at our calendars for quite a while ago, I remember
Mhm.
the rights for, what was it, Tomb Raider? What's that one you love?
Legacy of Kain.
Legacy of Kain. I couldn't think of like the legacy of it.
Yes,
I just
Legacy of
remembered
Kain.
Kain.
Yeah.
Legacy of Kain. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the other IP? There's a few IPs, yeah. And
There was a few of them. Yeah, they all got sold to Embracer Group
so they got sold to Embracer Group for 300
for about 300 million, which was an absolute steal.
Yeah, which we all commented on. Absolute steal. Like how why are they just thinking like, oh yeah, NFTs are the future?
Well, yeah, because Square was basically selling off all of their Western stuff.
Yeah,
they were just getting rid of it
because they wasn't selling gangbusters like they wanted to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Embracer have turned around. Like, there's been a few funny conversations in the community going like, yeah, they're just parking them for Microsoft to come along and just buy them after, because the Activision Blizzard stuff, which is interesting itself as a rumor, but obviously not the case, because Amazon have turned around and bought the Tomb Raider IP for 600 mil.
Yeah, well, was it 600? Yeah. Is it? I don't know if it's confirmed though, right? It's.
I thought it was 600.
No, like the number I think was going around with 600, but I wasn't sure if it had been officially announced that they bought the entirety of the rights. But they had announced that they were going to do some, like a series, right?
Yeah. Which, so there's a few things going on about. They're obviously working on the new game, which will be interesting. They talked about doing a TV series. Yeah, leading plans for a new TV series. And I don't know if I heard people saying that they were interested in continuing the movies with was it the 2016 reboot?
Yeah, they would definitely reboot. They would reboot it at this stage because they want to get different actors in and stuff.
But I think if it was the case, they'd probably do a TV series adaptation and just not worry about the movie.
I mean, considering how well HBO's Last of Us is doing and how kind of TV is having a bit of a second renaissance at this point.
It's
for adaptations at least.
Like, it's really interesting with all the different adaptations. Like, you got Alan Wake. I'm still waiting to hear more. Like, Last of Us has been going gangbusters, right? I'm really interested to see how Alan Wake does. I keep on seeing the set comparison photos for Fallout between the games, and they look amazing. It the only one that seems to be screwing up doing an adaptation is Halo.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, but hopefully Gears fares a little bit better.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
See, I haven't even watched the Halo one, and I'm not I don't know. I think I've been put off.
Not worth
wanting to I don't really want to watch game adaptations at the moment, and it's kind of frustrating because I don't know whether they're actually going to do them justice or not, and I don't trust people to do them justice.
See,
I'm definitely going to watch Last of Us. I mean, I feel like I have.
Yeah, like that already looks really good.
I mean, look, Nick Offerman's in it. That alone sells me.
Yeah.
Like, Nick Offerman is a wonderful actor.
You had me at Nick.
Yeah.
And I just like Pedro Pascal and pretty much everything he does. So
he's amazing in everything. Yeah,
I'm gonna watch Mandalorian season 3 is coming up. So
I mean, it fares well if you're 2 episodes into season 1 and you're already renewed for season 2.
Yeah,
kind of speaks pretty well. But yeah, there's not really much. Like, I just thought it was very interesting seeing that I'm going through all these Tomb Raider games at the moment. Yeah, that they're doing this. But
yeah, I mean, like, I'd probably check it out. You know, like, I don't think I'd be like super enthused about it because I don't feel like Tomb Raider's story is really its biggest driving point, right? It's the it's the character, and it's kind of like it's a very gameplay driven game in terms of like puzzle solving and combat.
Yeah, agreed.
And polygonal tits.
When the guys making the Halo show said that it wasn't canon, they never played the game, I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, quick side note on Nick. Quick side note on Nick. Did you see the interview with Jimmy? Was it? Oh, which late night?
I did not.
There was an interview with a late night show. Actually, I think it was Jimmy Fallon, and he said the last time he played a video game, it was Banjo-Kazooie, and he had to stop playing because it was so addicting.
Yep.
Just hearing him say like, yeah, All right, I played it for 2 weeks straight. I had it, like, that was it. I realized how much this would destroy me going to auditions and all that, so I quit.
Probably
Huh.
smart.
Wish I had that kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of self-control. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have been on Parks and Rec, man.
Yes.
Jeez. I mean, look, if they can get Chris Pratt, they could get anybody.
Yeah, but Chris Pratt will be in everything.
Sure.
He's
Let's
a slut.
go.
Actually, have you two watched The Menu? Quick side note.
I have.
I'm
I'm
going
to probably watch it this weekend.
So I can't think of the actor's name.
The guy who originally played Luigi.
No, not Charlie Day.
No. What?
Wait,
What?
What are you talking about?
What the?
No, the guy that's the guy that's the main guy in The Menu.
Ralph?
The guy that used to be on Skins is Tony.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
I'm suddenly blanking, but yes.
So
Yeah,
he's
I know.
playing John in the Garfield movie.
Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas
Yeah,
Hoult, that's
Nicholas
it. Yeah,
Hoult.
thank you.
Nicholas Hoult. Fuck yeah.
He's
yeah,
playing John in the Garfield movie.
Yeah. Okay,
and that
that's
just-
Yeah.
That feels
Okay.
very fucking weird to me.
That feels very weird. I don't know that I like.
He's also playing an assistant for Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is playing a vampire and he plays as his assistant.
Oh.
And that movie I
Okay.
actually really want to watch because Nicolas Cage as a vampire just sounds like a fucking amazing idea.
That's just him in every movie.
Yeah.
This. Anyway, quick side note.
But I was going to say, like, the video game connection there is John Leguizamo is in The Menu, who is also the guy
Yeah.
who played
Oh,
Luigi.
really?
Yeah, he's the movie star in that movie.
Okay.
And
That's such a good movie. I fucking love The Menu.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch it. But he of course played Luigi in the original Mario Brothers movie that we watched.
Yeah, I did not even see
Dinosaurs in
those.
Brooklyn. Oh, man.
Wait,
All right.
is he the one that plays Voldemort?
No, that's Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, and
sorry.
he's the
I
yeah,
need to
because
look this
he's
up
the
after. I'm
chef.
confusing myself.
Is he
Anyway,
not?
Ralph Fiennes? Yeah, he's Voldemort.
Yeah, he's the but isn't he the
he's
chef
main
in the menu?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the chef in the
Rudiger.
menu. So you
Yeah.
are right.
Yeah, because
Yes.
Nikita kept on pointing that out to me.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get on to our 360 delistings.
Yep.
So apparently a bunch of 360 games are getting delisted. It's not super clear at this point what's happening, but
But are they actually?
Yeah, so there was a list that's been basically saying that these certain listed games are going to be removed from the 360 marketplace. They may still be purchasable through the standard Xbox marketplace. So I think they're basically sunsetting that server or that system that runs all that shit, right?
Which kind of makes
well,
sense. Like we get it.
There was another article before, but it got confirmed as false that the Xbox 360 marketplace was shutting down in May.
Well, they said it was going to be shut down at the end of the year or over
Yeah, a little bit
2023.
different.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, mistake. They didn't say it was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh
They said it was posted by
no! What
mistake.
have we done?
So
I mean,
yeah.
it was bound to happen eventually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, if there's a bunch of games that are basically getting delisted potentially, that are going to be quite difficult to find. Most of them are available on disc because we're talking about 360 games, but there are a few what do you call them? Like kind of like arcade games rather is what I'm thinking of.
XBL.
XBLA
Mhm.
games that basically didn't have any sort of physical release. So there's a list on TA. Make sure you go check them out. Just make sure you got all those games you want to pick up because there is no guarantee that they'll ever come back or they'll be available.
The ones that I probably would recommend picking up are games like Daytona USA, Jet Set Radio, those kind of titles.
Eats Chowdown, that kind of stuff. Yeah. for sure.
Yeah.
What else was
Iron
there
Brigade.
on that list that was good? Jeremy McGrath's Off-Road apparently is really good.
Tales from Space Mutant Blob Attack is also good.
Mm.
I'm going through this. I'm like, actually, I own a lot of these, so I'm probably good. But
Yeah, same here. I went the other day to check whether I own Jet Set Radio and Daytona USA, but I think they were both games of gold at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I've definitely picked them up.
Daytona definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jet Set Radio I do own, but I don't think I'll ever finish because it's really fucking hard. But I should go back to it.
It just has that like Hi-Fi Rush kind of feel.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Jet Set Radio is an amazing game.
Yeah.
completing every level with a jet rating is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Clone and Clyde is also a good shout. It was one of the first games I played on the 360.
Yeah, the only thing really that I'm worried about, like, is the DLC attached to these games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Like with the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Ghost, for example.
Ghosts, yeah.
Assassin's Creed 4. I need to go and check if whether I tried checking if I only had access to the DLC the other day, but through the Xbox One store, it wasn't letting me access it. So,
right.
I don't know.
And then the other update, which is not hugely relevant to a lot of people, but in the Achievement Hunter community has raised a lot of eyebrows, is that we've seen our first non-first party, for the most part, game get its 6,000 gamer score with our Cruise Brothers.
Yeah.
Which, as far as we were aware, wasn't possible.
Yeah. Well, as far as we were aware, it kind of breaks the agreement.
It does break the agreement.
It
fully breaks the agreement.
Yeah. But basically, Microsoft, for those who don't know, Microsoft limits developers to only having 5,000 gamer score per game. They have made,
aside from specific.
They have made you can apply for an exception, basically.
Yeah, you can get exceptions. You have cases like I think Smart's has Smart hit its 5K limit yet?
Not yet. I don't.
Okay, Halo MCC definitely.
Halo, it was a Halo train sim, and then I think it was like one other. Basically,
what was that one? Was it DJ Max? How much did that add?
I'm not sure, but it was a lot. Well, they had a lot of achievements, but they weren't necessarily a lot of points.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online is the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, like Master Chief Collection, Elder Scrolls Online, both owned by Microsoft at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is, those ones all make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, we understand why they all
like MCC
were fine, but this one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's an insane amount. So there's been some conversations around like this being a mistake. But it's like, but obviously it was approved at some stage because someone wasn't paying attention or Microsoft doesn't care. Again, we don't really know much about it at this point, but Microsoft has been contacted by a lot of people apparently about this.
I put this in the server today. Vudix asked the questions about it. Regarding the 6K update on Cruise Brothers, whether you like it or not, I was speaking to the corporate team to ensure the rules are not broken again. The limit is 5,000. They did not file for an exception to policy. So I imagine somebody's put it through. Some team member hasn't, is not aware as the achievement community around the rules surrounding it and just approve the title update.
Yeah.
Which
makes me wonder if they're gonna if it's possible for them to repeal it. Whether they would.
Be interesting, right? I mean, I've already gone.
No, it would be way too hard for them to do that. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
yes and no, right?
Okay, so the window for it would be until the first lock happened, because then as soon as somebody unlocks it, you've got the potential that you're misleading consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean,
so I would imagine more often than not, if somebody unlocks it, they're going to immediately go, no, retract it.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody does unlock it, it's like, this is not to happen again.
Yeah.
Or I imagine a studio like DCF would be, hey, this is not happening again. This is your once off.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, I'm hoping it is that, because I have so many of those fucking games on my tag, and I just having them completed and not having to go back to them is a really nice thing, especially because most of these games are not usually high quality. I'm talking about like Zidalons and things like that, right? Which are just basically trash, to be honest. They don't, in my mind, they don't really have many redeeming qualities, if any. And obviously, I do feel bad for people. I know people spend a lot of time making games, but
I feel like it's more on those publishers though than it is those devs.
I suppose. I suppose. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, you don't see Red Alaka putting out one, like they are baby games, for example, but you don't see them putting out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is down to the publishers. You're right, but yeah, I'm just hoping we don't see too much more of this, if ever again. I'm really hoping that they kind of stick with that. And I
kind of wish, you'll probably disagree with me, but I kind of wish other developers with their title updates kind of utilized it more.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, there's actually I feel that way about games I'd actually want to play.
But... Like worthy content. Like I'm saying, for example, Boyfriend Dungeon with its title update
Mm-hmm.
when it left.
Yeah.
off. Like stuff like that. I'm a fan of.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I love that. See, that
Um,
works perfectly for me because I love that game as well. So
But now I have to go back to Sable for the same reason.
And that's why I bought you Sable.
Yeah, I saw.
So
yeah, I'm
Sable
gonna-
up.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The
We'll
game
see
doesn't
how-
have
we'll see how it
horses, does it?
No. Well, yeah, anyway. And then the last news that we've got here is that Rumbleverse is shutting down. It was
Yes.
originally a rumor, but it's been confirmed.
Yep.
So it's shutting down end of this month. Thankfully, it's really fucking easy because Cameron and I have already finished it.
Yep.
And how many matches did you play, Cameron?
Good question.
Roughly.
I honestly can't remember. Like the hardest thing about Rumbleverse is actually getting to a match for me.
Mhm,
Really?
okay.
Okay,
I
so
didn't have any trouble with it.
I will. I guess like I'll talk a little bit about just Rumbleverse specifically here.
Sure.
So we all, like me, you, Kirby, discussed like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby sent me a message at like 10 o'clock on what was it, like Wednesday night, just saying, hey, do you want to jump in and do the co-op thing? Now 12 achievements. I got I think 8 or 9 of them in my first match. Second
Mhm.
match I got like 2 more. The only ones that I needed were the elbow from the height
Yep.
kind of drop
Mhm.
and the 100 vicious attacks.
Yeah,
If
those
you-
are the two hardest.
Yeah. If you read the TA guide on the vicious attacks, hold Y, go into a crowd, hope they're blocking, you'll get 1%. If you could match up with somebody, it would be relatively easy. Me and
Which is
Kirby,
what
Kirby tried it multiple times, couldn't get it to work. I jumped on 4 a.m. the other morning, and Valak sent me an invite,
Yeah.
and I kept on searching, and I just couldn't find a match again. And I'm just like, this was before the servers got announced that they were closing Feb 28th.
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh shit, they've done it overnight. Like, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
I started
yeah.
this game last night and I'm missing 2 achievements. What are the chances? But I think there was an update that kind of just didn't go out properly for me.
Mhm.
Mm,
Downloaded
yeah.
after, could not find a single other person for any match after that. You and Kirby got in fine, no issues, yeah?
Yeah, so I was just working on some achievements, and Kirby was like, "Oh, hey, I just noticed I died, and I scrolled over and I saw you were playing in the same match." So we decided to search at the same time. We matched up like 3 different times and managed to smash out all the vicious attack achievements.
We
Like,
could only get them co-op, and that was it. And then after that co-op session, we could never reconnect.
yeah, we it only started working when we turned crossplay back on, but
Yeah,
that
we
seemed to be
tried
the thing.
that. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. So I don't know. We just got very lucky and we ended up on the same wavelength and managed to smash it out. So I saved myself a few hours of doing the vicious attacks.
One of the other Discords managed to get like 18 people into the same match the other day.
Oh shit!
So that
well,
would have
there
been
you go.
fucking easy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because
Yeah, I think because Valak's doing it, Deo's doing it with Firehawk.
Yeah.
And they've just got 1 achievement left.
and I'm guessing it's the elbow drop.
No, it'll be the
What one did he
vicious
say?
attacks.
Okay.
Elbow drop.
It's
I
he made sure it was like the last one.
I dropped
Right.
into
Um,
Firehawk stream today, and like I could hear Valak in the background because of
Yeah.
how far, and he's just like, "This fucking achievement, I can't." Like he was complaining about the elbow drop, and he's just like asked me how I did it,
Yeah.
and
I
I'm just like,
have a feeling he's got that one now.
He's got
There's
it now?
only
Alright,
like
cool.
literally he's only got 1 left to get.
I was getting really annoyed with it myself, and I jumped off the side of the building with 5 of them there, and just immediately got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lucked out with 20%.
Kirby was just like keep jumping off the side of buildings and then just keep doing the elbow drop as high as possible and try and land directly on them. And it took me a few tries, but I got it like in my 4th match. But I was just doing it constantly.
Yeah, I think I probably all up would have done 15 matches.
I probably did about 6 or 7 maybe.
But yeah, for me, it was sometimes like I would get like 1% for the block, and then
Mhm.
the bot would just go, like the bot difficulty varies massively, I feel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a total mess.
He said it's quite easy battle royale.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It's like if you want to do it, you definitely have time. It's real simple. Just jump on it.
yeah,
Yeah. So like
I
I'm sure
reckon-
like surely.
average with a co-op partner, you'd probably be looking at 6 to 7 hours at most.
I did it in
Mhm.
2 hours
Okay,
for
well, yeah.
comparison. So if you get a co-op partner and you do a co-op partner, you run through and you get all the achievements in one run, you'll probably get like potentially 8 achievements.
So did you do the block with him as well?
I'd already done the blocks myself, but I'd helped him.
Oh, yeah, that's the only one he's
Okay.
got to do.
Yeah,
Is Vicious Beats block.
The blocks take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll just be grinding out.
Yeah, real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Anyway, but yeah, jump on that if you got time. You got to Intel Fair, definitely give it a go. It's a fun kind of game, and it's relatively straightforward. And it's nice for them not to have too many achievements.
The first match I played, I was kind of like, but like after a few matches, I'm kind of like, I see what they were trying to go for.
Yeah.
Like it does seem like a pretty, I wouldn't say cool concept, but like, I can see why it appealed to some players.
It's interesting to have a battle royale that's focused on melee rather than shooting, because that's kind of different.
Yeah. And the other announcement I was going to say, Knockout City got server closure announcement for June.
Yeah.
Next.
Don't think I'm going to do that one.
Yeah. You don't think?
Okay.
I really enjoy Knockout City out of all the battle royales I've played.
It's a 60 to 80 hour completion though, so I don't. Yeah.
I might just try for majority of the list.
You've already started it, right? You've put a good dent into it already, so.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to talk about Game Pass then?
Yeah. So Game Pass updates for the month. We have Darkest Dungeon and Grid Legends dropped yesterday. Hot Wheels Unleashed coming out. I didn't put the date down here. I think it's like next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Atomic Heart is coming out February 21st. That's the one I'm really keen for.
Yeah.
And in terms of games leaving, we have Infernax, Besiege, Recompile, Skull the Hero Slayer, Last Kids on Earth, and the Staff of Doom, and the Crossfire X campaign, which doesn't have any achievements. Only the free-to-play multiplayer does. The ones I would recommend out of there are Infernax, which is under 4 hours, using the PlayStation Trophies Guide.
Yeah, it took me like 5.5, and I didn't rush, so it's really simple.
I quite liked Infernax as a game. It was just by its third playthrough, it kind of just got very repetitive. Yeah. If it was like a 2-hour game, I would have been completely fine with it. I just feel like you repeating the story over and over just doesn't really add to it. Recompile actually is pretty interesting. I dived it a while back. Essentially, you're like a virus trying to take over the mainframe. Kind of like a shooter platformer.
It's like a Metroidvania style, like earn abilities, go back and do stuff, but it seems like quite relatively tough. I haven't seen anyone saying they're going to jump on it yet, so I'm kind of curious.
Well, I don't think like when it first hit Game Pass there was that many guides, but I think there are a few like floating around now. Skull, unfortunately, was the one that was a quick debug menu that was patched out from Korean devs, if I'm not mistaken. Last Kids on Earth is pretty
Yeah, I'm playing that at the moment.
It's an outright games game though, so you're better off doing it while it's in Game Pass than paying $60 or whatever they want for it after.
Yeah.
And Besiege is quick but painful, apparently.
I'll talk about it when we get to what I've been playing. But yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go first then, I guess, just while we're talking about that kind of stuff. I haven't been playing a huge amount. So I did Rumbleverse, like we already talked about. I've been playing a bit more of the Bard's Tale trilogy, as I mentioned last week. That game is still very, very fucking grindy. It's one of those things where the game is so old that it's kind of broken in kind of like how it works, in that like there is basically no incentive for fighting any enemies. I've gone through so I finished the first and second game, and I just started the third game. It's all one list, but you get to carry your characters across. But there isn't really any incentive for fighting any of the enemies. So I've just spent most of the time following the guide, going through the dungeons, which are again like square by square, and just running away from as many battles as possible, because there's basically you'll lose health and you'll lose magic, and then when you get to the boss, you get your ass handed to you. So you might as well just run away from all the enemies and fight the boss at full power, and then go away and grind for a bit if you need to. Yeah, I mean it's fine. Like it's a classic. I know, and it's super not fair to compare it to today's games for something that came out like that old. But I'm gonna try and finish it this week if I can. I'm about 16, 17 hours into it. TA says it's like a 40 to 50 hour game, and the walkthrough says it's a 15 to 20 hour game. I think it's probably going to be like 25 hours maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure how long the third game is, but I know it's a little bit longer than the other two. Also did Besieged today. It took me like 2.5 hours. It's really straightforward. It is a physics game though, so like it's kind of like you're just gonna have to try and do things over and over again until it sometimes works. But the walkthrough on TA is pretty good, although they give you a list of vehicles, because basically it's like the Banjo-Kazooie thing where you can go and download the vehicles that someone's built and use them on the puzzles. They give you a list, but the list is incomplete. So make sure you go and check the walkthrough thread, where I think like Professor Pluto Alex has commented on there, but there's some other people who've basically said like, here are the extra ones that you mentioned in the guide, but you don't actually put in the initial list. So just go download all those vehicles. The guide will tell you what levels to do. You get like 2 skips, and it tells you like, hey, here are the 2 levels to skip. Don't bother doing these. I had trouble on like maybe like 2 of the like 50 levels that I ended up doing. Like it's really straightforward and easy for the most part. A little bit frustrating, but you guys will be fine. Don't do the PC version because it has an unobtainable, unless you don't care about that kind of stuff, in which case, what the fuck is wrong with you? Also started, Staff of Doom or whatever that fucking game is. I don't know. I'm skipping all the cutscenes. Apparently it's a licensed game. I don't know anything about it. It's a really, really basic.
I think it was a kids movie quite a few years ago.
Okay, all right, sure.
Like 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but basically it's like your kind of like standard like brawler where you go around with a character and just beat the shit out of zombies or whatever, and then like use special abilities. It's very, very basic. It has like a tower defense mode or something. Don't think there are any missable achievements, so I'm just going through and there's like an achievement for using like the grenade and the special attack of each of the characters, and when you get it, just switch over to the other one. So I'm just doing that, and then I'll just go through and do some cleanup later. It's like a 12 to 15 hour game, so I'm going to try and get it done over this long weekend. I've got Recompile sitting there that I'm considering. We'll see how that goes. I've got Crossfire X sitting there, even though I know that it's only the single player that is leaving, but I might just do the multiplayer anyway. I heard it's not very good, but you only need like 100 wins or something. So, and then we get to the thing that I'm really excited to talk about that I've been playing this week, which is The Quarry. Which, if you don't know, is same people who do the Dark Pictures games, who did Until Dawn. It is another game of theirs, not published by Bandai Namco. I'm trying to remember who published it, but anyway, the game is basically a throwback to like the late 90s, like 80s, 90s sort of slasher genre, where you basically play a bunch of like camp counselors at a place called Hackett's Quarry, where they're at a summer camp. And then there's an incident that happens that basically means that they're stranded there for an extra night. And they get told by the head counselor, he's like, hey, I have to leave, but you need to stay indoors and lock your doors and do not leave for any reason whatsoever. And of course, being fucking shithead, early 20s, they ignore all of that and go and have a big bonfire party, and shit gets real bad real quick. It's what I based my song of the week on this week. It's janky, but I loved it. I had such a good fucking time. Like, I know it got like panned or whatever, but like I don't give a shit. I really enjoy all these kinds of games. It's really interesting that what's the name? I'm trying to remember the name of the developer. It's really bad of me. Is it Supermassive Games? Anyway, because they did Devil and Me, which I talked about the other week as well. They both brought those out in the same year. I think this is better than Devil and Me. As much as I love the Devil and Me, you can tell that it was made in a bit of a hurry, where The Quarry is kind of is more of a spiritual successor to Until Dawn, which was the original game that they did. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I really enjoyed the story. It's cheesy, it's funny. The characters are real fucking douchebags, and you kind of hate them. And like, so watching them die, like watching you like fuck up the QTE and having them die, you'd be like,
some of them were like, I watched Dio stream it, and I was like, can you just die already? Like,
yeah. Some of them are just like, it's like, oh no, a bear trap. It's like, well, that's fine. He probably deserved it. But again, it gets real crazy. I was proud of myself. I managed to call the thing before they tell you what it is. Because all these games have a thing. So it was really good. They got some actually like semi-famous people in there as well for the motion capture. Was it Brenda Song is in there as one of the characters, which is great. She's my favorite character. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's got a stack if you want to do it twice for whatever reason. Probably don't, because you need to replay it like a lot. It does. It has a really nice thing with accessibility where you can basically make all the QTEs instant wins if you want, like from the like regular QTEs to like interruptions to like the breathing mini game. Like you can just turn it into a thing. It also has like a movie night function where you can just watch the game play if you really want to.
Achievements or?
No. Well, you get one achievement for starting it, but you could just watch the game play and like you decide at the beginning, it's like, okay, I want everyone to live, I want everyone to die, or I want like the director's choice, and you just so you don't know what's going to happen. It's an interesting idea, right? Because it is basically like just like a long form movie, just like the other, just like Until Dawn was. Yeah, like I really, really enjoyed it. The only real thing about it is that it kind of feels like it goes backwards in some of the like you don't get a chapter select until you finish the game. But if you load, you only have one save file for that thing. So if you load that save file and go to an earlier chapter, you lose your chapter select. So you get basically every time you load an early chapter, you have to play through all the way to the end to be able to go back. So if you make like a mistake in chapter 3, you're basically fucked. You need to play through the whole game to go back to that. Which is like stuff like that was a problem like they had with Man and Medan back in their like first Dark Pictures game, which they solved like immediately. So it is kind of weird that they kind of went back on this. But maybe it's a different team, but it's using the same engine, so I don't know. But I definitely recommend it. Like Kirby was playing it and recommended it to me because after we played through the Devil in Me. And so I'm hoping to have a bit more of a chat with him about it because actually he loved it. He said it's the best one he's played. And I like the Devil in Me's kind of like the motif a little bit. Like I like the sort of like Michael Myers kind of like horror house kind of thing as opposed to this kind of slasher stuff. But I really enjoyed the story in this. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend it. And that's pretty much me this week. I've got a lot of Game Pass stuff to do, and I've got to try and get through Bard's Tale. I'm going to try and play something new for next week, so I have something to talk about. Charlotte, what about you?
I'm pretty easy this week because I've only really played 2 games ish. But the one that I'm going to talk about this week is a game called Down in Bermuda. It's a wee little puzzle game. It's not on Game Pass or anything like that, but it's got the like beautiful art style. Like really, really loving the art style. And it's all just like puzzles. There's collectibles in there too. And there's about 6 different islands, and you kind of have to go back and forth between them to like because you find keys and you have to take the key back to an island and jump back and forth a little bit. I'm gonna have to do a second playthrough, but only up to like the 3rd island, I think. Because I missed an achievement. There's a time-based achievement where you have to move the sheep. You have to swap the white and the black sheep across, and I just didn't quite get it in time. But it story-wise, it's very basic. The guy crashes into Bermuda or wherever he is on this first island, and there's a plane crash, and you see him there with his little pack on his back, and then he's the one that is like sort of roaming the island. So as you go through the puzzles, he moves within that island, and then once you've solved that island's puzzles and got the 3 orbs, you can then press the button and it'll take you through the portal when you go to the next island and then do it again. It's not relatively big. I reckon if anyone else was playing it through, it probably would maybe take them like 2-3 hours.
Okay.
There's a really good walkthrough on True Achievements, which is quite fun to just play around. But I've been actually mostly doing most of the stuff on my own. And then just if I'm like a little bit stuck, I'm like, I'm just going to go and check the puzzle because I've just missed one little piece of this. But it's not hard at all. And mostly the walkthrough is good for making sure that you've not missed any achievements. Yeah, but I definitely recommend it. Let me have a look and see.
I want to add on to that quickly too. I just had a look at the Steam page from it. So that's from developer Yak & Co, which also made Agent A, A Puzzle in Disguise.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, okay. That game's great.
And if you're not fussed about the achievements, it's actually 90% off on Steam at the moment.
Oh, cool. That's pretty good.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just going to have a look at it on the Xbox.
A cup of coffee.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like I'm really enjoying it. It's a really cute wee little game.
I love the art style and looks of it.
Yeah, the art style's great. And it's like each island is beautifully designed. That's the kind of art style that I've played before and I really love. Like I played it. Oh, what's it similar to?
If you've played Agent A, A Puzzle in Disguise with the really asymmetric kind of like colorful dark patterns and all that. It's that, but mixed with like Secret of Monkey Island kind of aesthetic.
Yeah. There's only one gripe I have with it, and it's just like the minor thing. It's that like, so the for it, you've got zooming in and out, so you can zoom closer into the puzzles, and that's just with the triggers. So right trigger is zoom in, left trigger is zoom out, and then the bumpers shift this way, so left and right. So you can twist yourself around by pressing left bumper to twist to the left, and then right bumper to twist back to the right. And then your stick is kind of also doing the same thing, but to then move within the map, you have to use your up, down, left, right, not the sticks, which is a little bit annoying. Like, I kind of wish I could put one of the sticks as one of those to move around the map, because I keep going to move my left stick and I'm like, I can't do it, and then having to move back down to the bottom ones. Aside from that, it's great. That's the only issue I have. And I'm like, you know me, I'm like, I'll pick holes in everything. So yeah. But that's me for the week. And what about you, Cameron?
Well, I've been on them for a while, so I've got a lot of stuff to talk about now, don't I?
Yeah, this is true. You do. Go for it.
All right. I think the first one I'm going to start off with, just to rub his face on it. Before Christmas, I got challenged by a wonderful member of a community, Natalator, to complete Need for Speed Unbound before him. I knew I was getting this for Christmas, so we started at the same time, and I'm glad to say I won the race. I think I briefly talked about Unbound. Like, the music makes a racer for me. On that, yeah, kind of just more Need for Speed. But I appreciate the challenge at the very same time. Got that one out of the way. The other one I want to talk about around Christmas was Sinner: Sacrifice for Redemption, which is essentially if you took Dark Souls, removed Souls, and made it boss rush mode. So it's centered around the 7 deadly sins, and each boss is tied in with a certain sin. You can choose in what particular order you play the game. It was on Game Pass at one point in time, and that's why I dived it for the Hall of Fame challenge. I went, all right, cool. I want something that I can go back to that's going to be challenging over Christmas, that's going to take my attention a little bit. With it, yeah, it was relatively difficult. There's achievements that kind of have good and not good and bad endings per se, but kind of defeat them in a certain way that's particularly hard or particularly easy. And then the twist at the end, which I should have seen coming because of the 7 deadly sins, was quite good. I won't give it away, but as soon as you get to the final boss, it makes sense. So yeah, Sinner's Sacrifice for Redemption, and it's one of those games too that perfects that one more run kind of formula, because you'll get wiped almost immediately every time, then you'll get into it a bit and get down to half health, and then probably by the 10th or so fight with them, you'll have that tiny little health bar. There was that many screenshots I took of me being one hit away from defeating a boss. Or some bullshit that's happened. There's a massive headless chook for whatever reason that just throws its head at you. Yes, it's weird. So those are the two ones I did over Christmas. I've also been working on the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, which unfortunately glitched the final 2 achievements for me. I need to go back and do the complete all side objectives and fully upgrade my weapons. For whatever reason, I've completed both of them 100%. It says so in the game, and they haven't unlocked. Kind of just keep on hoping that I'll come back, load up the game, and they'll just randomly pop, but it's been a few weeks and it hasn't been the case, so unfortunately, yeah, there's what it is. Cuphead DLC, got it done. Matt's got no excuse now. Need to get back to it.
He's got to do it.
I need to pick it up.
I gotta say, the DLC is amazing. I can understand why there's such a wait for Studio what is it, MHDR or MDHR?
MDHR, yeah.
Yeah, to make this kind of pedigree of game. I really hope that they take that. If they do Cuphead or something again, they take that Netflix kind of animation style, so they can like speed up the process. But Cuphead is like it's probably like one of my favorite indies of all time now.
It's a fantastic game.
And then having that mix with the castle kind of so there's a castle where you got the King's Gauntlet, and you've basically like verse chess pieces. So you start off with a parry competition against pawns, where you parry them to defeat them. Then you go on to I can't remember what the order is. These bishops next, and then all the way up to the queen. They're quite challenging, and then when you actually have to do the proper King's Gauntlet, you have to do all of them in a row, and your HP resets between each round. But if you die in one of the later rounds, you have to start again from the start.
Oh wow!
And it's particularly challenging. The only problem that I found with the Cuphead DLC, obviously you play as Chalice for quite a few of the achievements. Because Chalice has such a different playstyle around a parry and a double jump, I completely forgot how to play as Cuphead.
Right. Yeah, when you go back to it.
Like when you go back to it, it's just like, I do not know how to play as you now, because I've kind of like, it's overriding a save in my brain. Like you just completely forgotten how to do it. But there are a few things that you can do to make the experience a little bit easier. There's like this secret quest line you got to do for a few achievements. You defeat these ghosts that is based off this other character's there's a first, second, and third place, and they give you instructions for the graveyard. The graveyard, you've got to follow the instructions that the trophy winners have given you to unlock a secret boss. That secret boss is very difficult because it depends on what direction you're facing. So there's two bosses either side of you, and then they swap over. So you got to quickly swap direction, and it just really messes with your brain being able to shoot, because if you shoot on the wrong direction where there's an angel, it'll automatically attack you. And it takes quite a while to get used to. After that, it gives you a broken mirror, and then you have to go and defeat 7 bosses with 1 HP.
Wow.
Now, you can do a little cheat code by walking around in a circle for certain bosses that will give you an extra 1 HP. So you're down to 2, which isn't too bad. But you cannot play on the easy one. You have to play on at least standard. But, I mean, if you've gone through an expert, you should be right with the game by then. But yeah, Cuphead was amazing. Moving on, the other indie I want to talk... the other 2 indies I want to talk about is Lego Builder's Journey, which is a short 2 to 3 hour experience, which is... From, like, the sound of it, Lego's Builder's Journey, like, you'd just think it's building Lego bricks together. It's a puzzle Lego brick game about a father and son kind of narration and, like, coming back together. And it's actually, like, quite a really nice story told by these Lego bricks. Like outside the traditional conventional Lego, that I highly recommend checking out. There's not really much else other than say that. I know there's another Lego's, I think, Journey kind of type story that's like a little bit more involved. But yeah, this was a pretty solid one. Far Changing Tides, I jumped on because it hit Game Pass, I believe, in March of last year. It'll take you roughly 4 to 5 hours. Pretty easy, except for one section where you've got to go through these ice barriers without hitting them a single time. Very narrow kind of corridors kind of situation. Managed to get on my second try. It's hey, I want to be a sailor mixed with management sim. Mixed with, like, you know, walking adventure kind of type game. Really cool. I actually am very interested to do the stack. And if you're part of Friendly Feb over in the Xbox Cast community, I would not recommend a better game to jump on for this month. Talked about Rumbleverse already. I've showed off some gameplay of Dead Space on the screen here. I've played about an hour today. Haven't really played longer than an hour on the original Dead Space, but this one is, like, amazing. I don't know if holding the right trigger on the 360 edition told you where to go on the map back then. Matt, do you remember?
I know that it was something you could do in like the second and third game. I don't remember if it was in the first. I think it was. It was a thing like you could. I think it was like right stick down. It would show you like the
show you
path to go, or show you paths. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I never really got into the first 360 Dead Space. I don't know if it was the achievements holding me back, but I started this one. I donated $20 to Game on Cancer the other night and managed to win the deluxe digital edition, which is great.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I was like, you know what? Good cause. Probably won't win it, but whatever. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'll just chuck an extra $10 in there just in case Nikita wins it as well, because then I can give it to her. Because I think I'd pay $10 to watch Nikita play Dead Space.
Yeah. Right.
I imagine you'd be the same with Allison, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty funny.
But yeah, I managed to win it. So yeah, just been playing through that. Probably going to add it to my list of 2023 games to complete as well. Yeah, got it given a code graciously from PlayOn about SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. I'm planning to play that through with Percy on the weekend. I think it might be a little bit, it's that PS2 platformer kind of SpongeBob game. So I think it might be one of those cases of here's a unplugged controller, let Daddy play on the main, and then we just watch the cutscenes. But it's like how the Peppa Pig game is a Peppa Pig episode.
Yeah, right.
Most of these cutscenes are very that SpongeBob movie kind of animation.
Mm-hmm.
The voice acting superb. It reminds me of that, like how Destroy All Humans was so faithful to the PS2 kind of games.
Yeah.
How faithful this is to the old PS2 kind of SpongeBob games.
Because it's a new game, right? Like it's not like a remake or anything.
Cosmic Shake's a brand new game.
Yeah, they've got the style.
Yeah, I think they did remakes of the other. How many was there before this? 2? I think
it was like 2 or 3. Yeah.
They remade the other ones, and then they're just like, all right, let's do this one as well. So I'm kind of interested to see like whether they keep on doing that adaptations, because I wasn't sure whether they would kind of have a place for like this current gen. Like how big is that market of people that want to play SpongeBob games? Like how big is that market of kids that have new gen consoles?
Yeah, true.
Like I see most, I guess that's probably true on Switch and that you'd probably have younger kids playing Switch and playing these kind of games on there. I'm just surprised there's like on Xbox. GoldenEye completed last night. One of my favorite games of all time. Aztec is a fucking bitch of a level.
Yep, it is.
You cannot convince me otherwise. The amount of times on stream that I got up to the ladder and then died.
Yep.
And then Egyptian took like all of 10 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And statue speedrun. That's the only tricky achievement in that game, I reckon. Other than I think Damn with its 2 minutes and 15 is just getting the hang of GoldenEye again.
Yeah. That's a classic though.
Yeah.
The Damn speed run is something everyone's done. Yeah.
Shame that you can't just use cheat mode to unlock the rest of the achievements. No, in all honesty though, it was a really good revisit, and that's why I keep on going. Like Nightfire, give me that fucking Nightfire remake. Just because of how much I enjoyed it. But it is the thing. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, the graphics don't hold or whatever. For me, this is purely the music of the game and just the fact that you can actually play with an Xbox controller and not have to worry about where your third hand's going to go. Kind of situation. But yeah, there's that. The last 2 games I want to talk about, been playing through Unsold. It's very much, I know when Firehawk did this, he basically put an entire weekend. I'm kind of like treating this as a play a little bit and then come back. I'm up to the end of the game, the final boss, but the difficulty spike is absolutely ridiculous. It is very much like you need to perfect your parries and all that. The amount of times that I've got it to like almost defeated is ridiculous, but then it'll just come around, freeze you, and completely take all your health in one hit, which you love in a game, right?
No, I really do not.
Yeah. And then the other one I was going to talk about is Age of Empires 2, which I downloaded on console yesterday. I know everybody's been raving about how well this plays on console, but like it's the same as the Cuphead kind of thing, yeah? Shutting off your brain around those controls. I plugged in mouse and keyboard. It didn't pick him up. Right, which is kind of disappointing. The one thing I will credit is they have a press right stick to do like a management of the economy.
Oh, okay.
So the one benefit of Age of Empires 2 on console is no idle villages, right?
Mhm.
Like the villages will just do whatever your economy is set up to do. So they will automatically build farms and all that. You can use your triggers and all that to put down buildings. It streamlines quite a bit of the game. But then I went to do the York co-op mission, and then there's quite a variety of farms outside the free town centers that you need to defend, or walled off free town centers. So naturally, all the villagers go outside to collect food from the farms.
Yep.
While they're getting attacked. And it's just like, no, I want you to come in and build farms around these towns. Like, why are you doing this kind of situation? So I think there's going to be some levels like that it works really well with. And there's going to be other levels like York that everything just completely breaks and is a pain in the ass. I'm still interested to see how Age of Empires 4 does. But I'm probably going to stick on PC. I might try and re-explore it of Age of Mythology if they do decide to do a console adaptation. I imagine we would find out sooner rather than later if they do decide to go down that path. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say with that. I have no idea what my gamer score is at, but yeah. Actually, one last thing. I'm committing this year to what I put down on the blog post in terms of the games that I'm going to play.
All right.
I've got going. I have a few categories. I've got the 1 million gamer score, which I think I definitely will hit this year. I've got 5 2023 games. I got 5 personal picks. I got 5 backlog, and the only one I'm worried about is Far Cry 2 if the servers go down. 10 indie games, which I've basically done like 6 out of 10 already. And then Tomb Raider and Age of Empires series completions.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't think it's that bad this time around. It's not Yakuza.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. All right. Charlotte, do you want to go through the leaderboards?
Yep. This week I'm only going to do leaderboards. I'm not going to do completions. Mainly because of all the issues I've been having tonight.
Yep.
So in our leaderboard we have in third place Thrash Forever, 16,970. In second place we have the Moonzom in 19,920, and in first place we have Martel with 24,825.
All those
Fantastic.
horse games?
Just a few horse games, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then, of course, we'll transition over to the Word Challenge, everyone's favorite Xbox Hall of Gamers competition. If you don't know what it is, basically every month I come up with a game. I put it into our little gift bot, and you basically have to put the title of the game on our Discord in the Word Challenge channel. Discord.io/HallofGamers is the place to come and hang out with us in our community.
Can I just say, leading into this, I was so devastated that it wasn't the Fallout game. I thought you really, really made it tricky. And
I did.
So fucking hard about that.
Yep, and you thought wrong.
Anyway.
So, every week I'm going to give away a clue, and if you win some money. So get in there and start guessing. We had a couple of guesses, but I want to see a few more people in there now that they're starting to narrow down a bit. So the first clue was Australia, which is, I will tell you right now, is not a very helpful. It's not a helpful clue at all. Basically, there was a request for a Kirby style clue, so I gave the least helpful clue possible that is barely tangentially relevant to this game. Yeah. The second was that is part of a series that's had over 4 different developers. Now, just give that some thought, because 4 developers is a lot, but not necessarily for a series that's been going on for a long time.
So you said over 4, so it's got to be 5+.
Yeah, 5+. Yep.
Just in case people start guessing 4, like I did.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, over 4. And the new clue is that this game was released before 2000, so it's an older game. So that should narrow it down considerably, because if you think about it, but get in the Word Challenge channel. You can only have 1 guess per hour. The channel has a slowdown mode on it, but get in there. If you guess it right, the gift shows up. and then we'll get in contact and give you some cash straight out of the Patreon coffers.
And I know there's no chance of it being this particular games, but when did they start doing the Olympic Games spin-offs?
I don't know actually. I think it was. Well, they've been doing Olympic Games for ages, right? I mean, ever since they did like summer games back in like the NES or whatever back in the day. So
because you said 2000, and I'm immediately like, yeah, Sydney 2000 Olympic Games. Yeah. I'm like, why the fuck did that just jump into my head?
I mean, I don't know how many people develop those games, right?
It won't be. But yeah.
I mean, like again, I said develop, not publish. So
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of our Patreon, patreon.com/HallOfGamers. If you want to come and help support us, you doing okay there, Charlotte? Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
You good? Yeah, patreon.com/HallOfGamers is the place to come and support us if you want to give us some money. I was talking about it in the pre-show, but we just had our Zoom bill come in at $240. So every dollar helps a lot, because that's we have to cover that out of our own pockets, basically. But we
tell him to cancel it.
No, well, we needed something. But we just want to thank our patrons for helping support us to do the show, so we can pay for things like Zoom and for hosting the podcast and for prizes and merch and all the other bits and pieces. We greatly appreciate the support. So thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail, KV, Chapters, Natalator, Natolinator, Firehawk, Mad Lefty, G Spaceman, Admiral Awesome, Keo, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and McLovin Legend. We greatly appreciate all your support. Thank you very much for supporting us with your cold, hard cash. And like I mentioned before, discord.io is this place, /HallOfGamers is the place to come say hi to us in our community. It's where we spend most of our time. You can go in there and talk about the show, talk about music and movies, video games in general. We've got boosting channels. We've got the word challenge. We've got a special Patreon channel as well. Along with that, we've also been posting the behind the scenes content. So the sort of beginnings and ends before we go live of the show, as well as I've been posting Song of the Week there early. Also, so you have a record of it. If you ever want to go back and listen to my dulcet tones.
You can also look at it like obscene references to like Xenogears.
Yes.
And Hi-Fi Rush.
Exactly. And if you want to come join us live, like our wonderful audience here today, the Twitch is Xbox Hall of Gamers. So come say hi. You can ask questions in the chat. We'll respond to you as much as we can. All right. That's kind of going to bring us towards the end of the show. If you want to get in touch with us in other ways, you can email us at hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com, at hallofgamerspod on Twitter. Subscribe to us on your platform of choice. Leave us a review. Word of mouth is always huge for us. And if you'd like to write in questions, go to any of those channels. And if you'd like to be on the show, Charlotte's built a form that you can find on the Discord. Otherwise, just reach out to us and we'll work out a time. We'd love to get some more
It's
guests
also
on.
pinned on our Twitter page as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. Well, Charlotte, if you want to be found, what are the details?
Just don't look for me. I'm not available. I'm claimed by a persona, so there's
done.
that.
Cameron.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I am on Twitter under AudreyChar. I am in Discord under the Char with many names, and I am Twitch, but I'm getting it. I'm having a break, but this Charmandosaurus_Rex.
Wonderful.
Now, Cameron.
If you want to find me, I'll be doing graphic design course on Figure Ground, Positive Space, and all that fun stuff until the end of March. You'll see me in April. Thanks.
Maybe
after PAX East, maybe.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, PAX East does sound pretty dangerous to me.
So if you come back from America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I come back from America, that's the question.
Exactly. And if you want to find me, I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. Thank you very much to all of our wonderful listeners. Thank you to my wonderful hosts. And have a fantastic day, evening, whatever time it is that you're listening to this or watching this.
You get those achievements. We believe in you.
Yes. Well,
then go and tell us about them.
Yeah.
Yes. Make sure you post them in the completions channel. Thank you all for joining us for episode 67. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.